Oh my gosh.
It looks really good.
That looks so good. That's crazy.
Wait, bring it closer. No, that. Look at that.
That's insane. So funny story, we're getting ready to filter for the first time. We thought we had a mini jet filter that took these smaller pads. Turns out we actually have the super jet filter, which takes these bigger pads. So it's definitely a good thing. It means this should go a lot faster and hopefully a little bit smoother. Before we put our cider into that super jet filter, we are going to rack it one more time, get it off those spent lees, that spent yeast, and make sure it's clear as possible. So let's do that now. We're gonna let gravity do the work for us here. So we'll go ahead and get everything set up and start pumping. All right, now that we have all of our liquid racked, I'm gonna take a final gravity reading. Looks like we're sitting at 1.014. So here's the beast, the super jet, which we thought was a mini jet. Turns out it's a super jet. So we got to get all this set up and then we'll start filtering. I guess we can get all the pads in here. Too bad. All right, pressure gauge.
Will it go flush? Yeah.
Okay, this needs to go into the keg from that port over there.
Trying to keep that off the ground. So what is it? Into this hole?
Yep.
I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. So wait a second, because there's two holes over here.
Right. Go ahead.
It's technically still sanitized. Oops, very bottom.
All right, the only other thing would be plug it in, filter pads wet, filter pads in, clamp it all down. He said, since the pads will be wet, pump it into another container until you start to see the cider coming through.
Okay.
Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. That sounds right.
Okay.
So dampen these.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is dampen these pads in some water, which we have sitting over here. Then while those are dampening, I will explain what's gonna happen. Okay. So the cider is going to come from the 5-gallon carboy through our tube here. We're going to go ahead and clamp this tube down here in just a second. Pump is going to pull it out into this tiny little tube that will clamp down on both sides. It's going to go in through the bottom of these 3 filter pads. Cider is going to filter through the pads, come out the exhaust up here. We'll clamp it down in just a second. And then all the way over into our keg where we're going to force carb this cider. And this one is the one that doesn't need sugar, so we're not going to be sweetening it. We're just going to be force carbing it. So let's clamp it down and get to it.
Looks.
Maybe, oh, it's tight.
That's all you got, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like your finger there.
All right, now we'll go ahead and throw our pads in here. Rough side towards the motor. At least that's what the guy tells us. Pad, plate, pad, rough side towards the motor. Plate, pad. This is kind of exciting. Plate. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and snug it down. We have this nice pool here to catch anything, so hopefully we don't have a mess. I think we're ready.
We heard it can be messy, so.
Yep, we want to make sure all our ducks are in a row here. All our clamps are tight so we don't lose anything and so we don't make a mess.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
In the tiny one, there's supposed to be an out hose that you can either put back in. Do we have one of those?
Mm-mm.
It's just gonna drip out down here. The other one had a tray and it caught
That's
it.
what this is.
Oh, got it. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna lose it. Because you
Yeah.
can't filter all of it. Some will fall because of gravity.
Well, this is sanitized. Should we use it to collect it? I was gonna do that, but then I had to use it for water. What do you think?
Yeah, let's just see, because then we can see how much it is and stuff.
See how much waste there is?
Yeah.
So now this is our collection tray. Oh my God, it's so heavy now. It's so much heavier, that's weird. And FYI, every single thing here has been sanitized.
Even the
Yeah,
base
even the
of
plate
everything.
itself.
Okay. Question.
Water's off.
Do you know the off? Yeah. Do you know the off switch? Because it's gonna be a mess.
Okay, so we're in here all the way in the bottom.
Yep.
We've got extra clamps in case we need it.
Put that hose in the pitcher until.
Yep. So this hose goes in the pitcher because the first little bit is going to be water.
Okay. I'm ready.
It also, if PSI starts to get 18 to 20 pounds, that means that the pads are saturated with yeast, so they need to be replaced and we have to start again.
Okay.
That's what the PSI meter's for.
Okay.
All right. I'm nervous. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Things are happening.
It's really
All right,
slow.
cider just entered the motor. Just
Oh, there
came
we go.
through to the
Okay,
pad.
get ready.
So now we're cooking. So water. Looks like a little bit of sanitizer mixture. Water sanitizer.
I'll tell you, you'll be able to see with this hose when it stops. Maybe.
Holy crap, this is a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
It's starting to change color a little, but not really. Dang! When is it gonna be?
I guess that's got to be right.
That's gotta be right. That's a lot. Try it. Because we're like, yeah.
It's hard to
Do you
tell the
see any
difference
drips
with cider.
anywhere besides the?
Just barely any dripping out the bottom. That's pretty good, actually. We're at 5 psi. The problem is, I definitely wasted a lot of cider here.
Well, we didn't know it was gonna be that color.
Oh yeah, because it's being filtered, so it's a lot clearer.
Well, good thing we made 5 gallons or whatever this is.
This is actually working incredibly well. We're still at 5 psi. I'm a little surprised how well this is going.
It's not really losing that much. It's only just a few drips.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how little it's losing. I am dripping a little bit here, but that's the clamp I couldn't tighten anymore. So maybe we need a tighter clamp for that.
It's moving quickly.
This isn't dripping. The out isn't dripping. No, I forgot to put my phone. Get my phone.
Is it bad for air to go through the pump?
Well, I mean, we want to get all the cider right.
Yeah.
Air can't be bad, it's just bubbles. Good?
Yeah.
Look how little was wasted.
I thought it would be a little bit more.
So the funny thing is we watched a bunch of videos on the mini jet filter and they talked about how many issues they had with the mini jet filter.
Right.
But the super jet filter seems like they corrected a lot of those issues. It's interesting.
Or we learned from their mistakes.
Look how
Yeah.
little this,
Yeah, there's barely any.
and that might be mostly water from the beginning. So let's go ahead and taste it since it's super, super clear. Make sure it doesn't need any sugar. Oh my gosh.
It looks really
that
good.
looks so good. That's crazy.
Wait, bring it closer. No, that. Look at that.
That's insane.
I'm not even sure that's a clean cut, but look how
And
good
this is
it
the
is.
most
Jeez.
coarse pad. This isn't even the finest pad. Smells amazing. Yeah, I don't think we need to add sugar. It tastes really good. That's crazy.
That looks like professional cider, doesn't it?
You're right. It's like professional cider. All right. Well, we're going to put this keg under some CO2 pressure, probably 10 to 15 pounds for the next 5 to 6 days. And that should build up CO2. And then we got one last treat. We're going to be using the LastStraw bottle filler to take it from the keg and put it into the bottle, since ideally, since we filtered it, racked it a bunch of times, it should be pretty stable. So stick around. All right, so we got our keg set up here. We're going to tighten up our posts. That one's good. That one's good. We're just working on the inline right now because we got to force carb this bad boy. Get our hose all set up here. Tighten it up. Good. Now let's connect to the CO2 tank. Looks stiff. Tighten that bad boy up. Turn on the gas to make sure that there's no leak. No hissing, so we're good there. All the way up to 30, so we better turn that down. Lock it in our in post. We're gonna fill it up. Then we're gonna release some of the CO2 to make sure that there's no headspace. Get rid of any oxygen. There we go. Dial this in to 15 psi. So we need to go down a little bit. Close enough. And then we'll throw this in the fridge for a few days. All right, everybody, this is another exciting first for us. We're using the LastStraw bottle filler for the first time, and we're pretty excited. This should make quick work of the 4 gallons of cider we have in here and put them all into these bottles pretty fast. First thing we gotta do is set it up, so let's get to it. So, I've got hoses. Both of these hoses must go to this, okay? 2 ends go to this, okay? 1 end goes to this, so I only need 1. I do not need this one right now. Okay, so you hold this. This one would go to the cider, but not yet. That means this would go to this. I need to put a gasket on. Yes, I did sanitize these. Okay, this is from the cider. Okay, tighten that up later. This is the one you have. Okay, don't put it on just yet. Since, let's just wait to put that one on. You can just like set it up here. Okay, so this one, if you would grab one end, is going to go to the CO2 tank. Thank you. Okay, so essentially, if everything's hooked up right, we're gonna put this end on the cider. Give that a second. We've already tightened up all of our connections. So this is our into the keg line. It's on. This is our into the bottling wand, which is off currently. We'll set up the pressure and then we'll test that for leaks here shortly. Then this is just gonna go in here. We're gonna purge it with some CO2, get rid of any nasty oxygen that might be in there. And we're gonna fill it by pushing down. And then when it gets to the top, we'll cap it. So, let's do it. Let's first test CO2 out of this one. So we'll flip this one on, give it some CO2. No leaks, okay? We're gonna set both of our regulators to 8 pounds. So essentially the last thing we have to do is hook up to the keg and we should be rocking and rolling. Ready?
Now can I? Yeah.
That was almost too easy going on there. Usually it's a little bit harder. Okay, so all of our connections are good. We tightened them. This one's good. Yeah, okay. Here we go. This is weird.
How do you know how much to do?
I don't know. Assume that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, when I draw it, it goes down. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's purging it. That's working. Okay, so we purge the CO2, then we push down. Oh my God, cider's coming. It's working.
It's very busy.
That's a lot of head. Wait to fill that one. Put that
Probably.
one to the side. It said, when I watched the Northern Brewer video, they said you don't have to lower the pressure in the tank. But I'm starting to think we do need to. That is like completely. That's like all.
Yeah, that's not good.
Clearly, as you can tell, this is not working out right. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Lower the serving pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing's coming out now.
That's better. It's really slow. No, it's doing head again. Well, yeah. Are you supposed to do CO2 and it at the same time?
No, you just do the CO2 to purge it.
The problem is all these are only going to be like halfway full.
They're all going to be halfway full, based on what's happening. That's different. That hadn't happened before. Okay, so we think we know what was wrong. It might be over-carbonated maybe, or the bottles are warm, but it's definitely getting a lot better. However, it's a lot slower. It's definitely not as easy as the video made it seem.
Which is funny because our filter was a lot easier.
Yeah,
than
the
video
filter,
made it
the
seem.
filter and the filtration process was incredibly easy. I don't know. Refilling these low fills is seeming to work. All right, we're all set here. We got between 35 and 40 bottles full, which I'm pretty happy with. The only problem was we had an issue at first with the amount of carbon dioxide in the liquid, I think. The keg might have been over-carbonated, but over time that started to dissipate a bit. And then the other thing was the cider displacement. With having the straw in, we really had to fill it as full as possible and then waste a little bit towards the end in order to make sure we had, well, this one was when we ran out. Where's one? In order to have this much headspace left. Majority of the bottles have around this much headspace. But learning curve. Overall, it's definitely a helper. We use a lot less tools and we'll have a lot less to clean up. We're excited to test this cider for you tomorrow. Sneak peek, I've already tested it out of the keg, so it's pretty good. One last thing before we taste this batch is we gotta put the labels on. We're really excited about this cider and we're ready to share it with some peeps. So we want to put on some nice fancy labels so everybody knows what they're drinking. This is our first time with a stable batch that has sweetness to it. So we're excited. And now our favorite part of the whole process, getting to taste our batches. This right here, batch 24, 50% Northern Spy, 50% Macintosh. And we're so excited, we labeled it. We're starting off with this one because we're not sure how well this bottle holds carbonation. There's a fizz. Nothing's happening though in the bottle. Funny thing about this bottle, this was filtered and force carb, so we can drink these straight out of the bottle. There's no sediment at the bottom. But to show off the clearness, look at the carbonation. That's perfect. To show off the clearness, we wanted to pour this out for you guys. I'm really excited. That looks amazing. Filtering is definitely the way to go. Look how clear that is. It smells like crazy apples. It smells delicious. It's really good. It has a lot of apple flavor, a little bit of tart finish. Excellent carbonation. I was a little surprised. First we thought it was over-carbonated, then we thought it was under-carbonated. In the bottle, looked like it worked. It was perfect. As you can see, some of the bottles were low fills, so hopefully that works out. But for this one here, that's perfect. It's definitely semi-sweet, maybe even pushing a little bit of sweetness. It's pretty sugary, but we knew that. We tasted it beforehand. We did not back sweeten this one, so that's something different. It finished at a 1.014 specific gravity with 6% alcohol. It's kind of dangerous. It tastes like carbonated apple juice. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. There were a lot of firsts and a lot of excitement, so hopefully you enjoyed what we had for you today. We are that much closer to perfecting our cider recipes and having something that can be mass produced and sold locally. Lastly, if you want to help us grow, make sure to leave us a like and a comment. It really helps the Google and YouTube algorithm introduce our content to newer viewers. Thanks again, and remember, always follow your dreams.